Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl, Jazmin Griffith. Follow me on Instagram. I am the Socialista. I am a woman of today, positioning myself for tomorrow.
Hi everybody, so we are back with another segment of Uncut, and today is super special. Aww. Y'all, when I first pitched this segment, and don't make me cry. When I first pitched this segment to the Women of TmrO team, and we were putting together a list of women who we wanted to have mental health discussions with, this girl was the first person that came to my mind, and I have followed her journey online for, over a year now?
It's been a year.
Definitely been a year. So y'all, please welcome Miss Jazmin Griffith. Y'all may know her as the healing girl on TikTok. Miss Fame herself, honey. Oh. We are proud to see your journey.
Oh my God, I feel like a little Beyonce.
Yes, you know you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so talking about your journey, just take me through it. How did you get to this point? I know that's broad, right?
You went right in.
Get in there.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So it really was simple. Like, I had a boyfriend, I was madly in love with him, and we went through these phases where, he cheated on me, et cetera, et cetera. And as women, we get caught up in this fact of like, our men, they're everything, right? We put people before us. And I think that was exactly that. And so it came to a point where obviously I just kind of got fed up with the things that had happened. And I broke up with him, found myself begging for him back. He didn't want my ass back. So I kind of just was like in a rut. I was very depressed. Your friends, they get tired of hearing you cry. They get tired of hearing you saying it over and over. And so I took the TikTok. I sat in a parking lot. I kid you not, I was in a parking lot off Piedmont. I sat in a parking lot for 4 hours. I had just got my nails done. I did not know where to go. I was like, do I go home? And I just sat there. I had called every single person that I was very close to just to talk to them, and nobody picked up the phone. And I was like, fuck. All right, I was like, let me just try this TikTok thing. I was like, I ain't got nobody to talk to, let me talk to myself. So I made this video, a minute and a half, just venting more so. Went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and it went viral. And my friends was like, I didn't know this is how you were really feeling. And so from there, it's, I didn't make the videos for clout or anything like that. I made the videos genuinely because they were just helping me, and it felt like I just had a place to kind of vent and to talk to people and to just document my journey, which I'm glad I did because I get to see my growth now. But it was just a place to not only help me, but I got a chance to help, multiple women, and that's just kind of how it flourished, like a small nugget out of the air, really.
I love that. Just by chance.
Just by chance, literally. Just by chance. And it just goes to show you the power of just storytelling and just the power of like social media has on people. Like there's people that go through a lot way worse, than me and you, and have a lot way worse breakup stories and things of that nature. And so they're just seeking for a place of community, a place of where women can feel like they're united and, oh my gosh, she gets me. Like, that's what a lot of women used to tell me, like, you look like that and you're going through the same thing that I'm going through. And I'm like, that doesn't mean everything. Everybody goes through, breakup or depression or anxiety. Like, I'm no different than you. So I think they were just seeking a safe haven, and I kind of gave that to them, and I guess in a sense. So, yeah.
Now, we used to laugh at girls. Well, not laugh, but we would think it was odd.
Yeah.
When people would like get on live and be crying.
Yeah.
What made you, like,
girl,
as wild as this is, what made you say, I have to choose this particular outlet? Because you could have called a therapist. You could have called mom.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could have went on some strange internet back page where nobody was really going to know you and connect like that. But what made you say TikTok is the platform where I need to share this story?
I don't know. I guess I had 20 followers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no one saw my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, no one knows me on here. Like, and I was also on a social media break. So I was off Instagram. I didn't even have an Instagram. My Instagram had been deactivated for like 9 months. So I was like, what the heck? No one's gonna see it, So, and the crying, it sucked. And a lot of people made fun of me. My sister's like, you on TikTok crying. And I'm like, well, TikTok got me paid now. So I'm just saying. But I used to get, a lot of these people be like, you look crazy on here crying. Like, you look ridiculous. Like, but I had 20 followers. Like, I never in a million years would have thought anybody was gonna see my shit. Like,
now, how many followers do you have now, honey?
Just 180,
Just 180.
Just 180.
180.
180.
Y'all, not 180 as in 180, like 180,000, okay? She's literally famous.
Slightly. It's not even all of that. But I had 20 followers. So I just would never in a million years would have thought, that video. I think that video is at 1 million now. But I would have never thought it would have just reached as far as it did off of 20 followers. Like, it was pretty amazing.
Now, you mentioned how your friends, you tried to call them, they didn't answer for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and you felt like you didn't have anyone to really listen.
Yeah.
What is your advice for people that are looking for community, looking for support? Maybe they don't have friends. Because I know, like, the past 2 years, of course, like, I've gone through anxiety. I've gone through some breakups. You've seen my stories on TikTok. We're going to leave that alone. I would never drop my TikTok on this platform. If y'all find it, great. If not, so be it.
I'll give it to y'all.
But I had, my best friend was, like, there for me every time I got released from the hospital. She would pick me up. You know, she stayed at my house. My mom literally moved in with me for like 2 months. And if I didn't have those two people particularly, I really don't know what it would look like today. So what's your advice for people who are looking for community? And maybe they're not that bold to just go online and say, I'm going to just cry to people that don't know me and hope that they receive this message.
Yeah, so in your situation, you got lucky because a lot of people don't have, you know, they don't have that kind of community around them. Like, they don't have parents that they're so close with to do, like, I have parents that I'm close with, but not to the point where, like, you know, I can tell them. Like, my mom had seen and learned everything that was going on from my TikTok. Like, I never told her any of those things. The same thing for my, you know, for my dad. Like, so you were blessed in a situation where you can, you know, have, and granted, I do have great friends that were there for me. I guess in a situation like that, my biggest advice is there is community out there, right? There are those small, intimate groups where you can find, you don't have to make a TikTok channel. Like, for me, for example, I made a Facebook group on TikTok, on Facebook that has like 10,000 women. It's called the Healing Girl Tribe. And it's women that are like, I don't have an Instagram, I don't want to post on TikTok, but it's just a closed group for women only, for them to vent and talk about the stories. And I mean, some of the stories in there, like, it makes you want to cry to hear about some of the stuff that these women go through, like, with themselves. They literally lost themselves. They literally have no outlet. They have no friends. And so it was interesting because 2 of the girls I'm actually close with from the group, they came to Atlanta and met up with 5 other girls from that group. They were like, I had no friends prior to this group. So I guess my advice would be is there are those safe havens out there. Just find them. There's a lot of resources. I think it's just part of that journey of healing. It's, you got to want to help yourself. Those resources are out there. You can journal and things of that nature, yes, but there are resources to help women out. Like, that's why women like me, and I'm sure others, create groups like that for women that don't have family, that don't have friends. Like, there's a lot more people out there that you would anticipate that have those same issues just like you are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. I love that
you
you built this community. You didn't just say this is for the TikTok girls, but
No,
you really are like expanding this. This is a real thing.
Yeah.
You want to be a therapist, girl?
Girl, no. No. I went to therapy, you know, and it, you know, during my healing girl journey, I guess, and it just, I don't know, maybe it was my therapist, but she just wasn't it. She wasn't there. She wasn't doing it for me, which was like, I think TikTok was like my last resort, because even my therapist, I was like, this is a waste of money. Like, after 3-4 sessions, I was, and granted, I might have had the wrong therapist, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. It just didn't give me that feeling that everybody else would talk about that their therapist gave them. Like, I hear you talk about it, I'm like, I didn't get that same.
Either it hits for you or it doesn't.
Right.
But I used to be anti-therapy.
Yeah.
I never liked the idea of a stranger telling me about me. 'Cause,
Right.
girl, I don't know you.
Yeah.
But the
Right.
therapist that I found, I did get very lucky
Yeah.
with her, and I trust her.
Yeah.
And it took some time to
Right.
condition that relationship.
Yeah,
for sure.
and that's, I probably didn't give it, after 3 sessions, I didn't give it time. So that could
I
have been.
get it.
Yeah, so that could have been it too.
When you invest the money, and it's like, I kind of don't have
Yeah.
time to play like this. It's not like just going to church.
Yeah.
And, oh, I didn't like this church, let me just go to another
Yeah.
one. Like, no, therapy gets a little expensive.
Yeah,
I get it.
absolutely.
So let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
And let's talk about what was the lowest point for you after your breakup. Did you put that point on TikTok, or was that a day where you said, I just can't even talk about this today?
Yeah, my lowest point after my breakup was probably, so us as women, I'm a Leo, we're a little crazy. So, you know, I was still looking at my ex's social media channels, you know, a little bit after the fact. I mean, right, you know, it is what it is. That's us when we do that. It got to a point where I saw that he went on a ski trip. I'm about to sound so crazy saying this, but he went on a ski trip, and I was like, I know in hell in no way, because we ain't never going on a ski trip. He is out here with a female. So me being me, I like went and I investigated. I drove myself crazy, and I ended up finding out he was out there with a girl. And at that point, I drew myself. That was probably my lowest point, because
What did that feel like?
it felt like a slap in the face. Also because I was very hopeful that we would still kind of get back together in some weird way. And it's not that I wanted to get back with him in a sense. I was just hoping that we would get back together. So, and then he had took my pictures down off of Instagram. So that was all like my little last piece of string I was holding on. He shut the door in my face. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So that day I ended up blocking him from everything. I had called like one of my guy best friends, and I was like low to the point that I was like, I didn't think I was gonna make it, because I was really like, I can't even believe all this is happening. Like, and he was like, you really gotta like block him from everything. Like, your phone, your email, like you really have to block him. And from that moment on, I was like, I just cut communication like cold turkey. Yeah. After I called him like 350 times. You know, but I drove myself crazy, and I was like, what are you doing? I said, you really begging for like the minimal attention from somebody where I'm sure there's somebody out here that will give you way better attention, which there is. So I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I couldn't even believe I called somebody that many times. Like, me and my boyfriend joke about it now. He'd be like, what? Like, I was like, yes, it's crazy.
I've been there.
Yeah, we all have. A lot of women have done that. Like, and I don't mind putting that out there, because that's just what it is. It's real. It's real shit, you know? Yeah. So that was kind of like my lowest point. And then I just cut the communication off cold turkey. I didn't really peep what he was doing. You know, I didn't look at his comments. Like, it was hard as shit. But I was like, I was determined that I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get no better in no type of form or fashion if I keep looking at this man's social media, like looking every day. Did he take my pictures down? Did he take my pictures down? Yeah, bitch, he took your pictures down. Move the fuck on. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get real about healing.
Yeah, sure.
I think when I talk about like my process of healing, people expect for it to be something that's so pretty and perfectly packaged and light a candle and pray and get your tribe. My healing journey was terrible as fuck. Terrible. It was ugly. Yeah. And I looked ugly going through it.
Absolutely.
I probably had no edges at that time. But I want to talk about how that was for you and how your healing evolved.
Yeah. So healing was ugly for me too. Like, it was very ugly. It was ugly in a sense of, I experienced a lot of jealousy. Like, I would be around my friends in their relationship, and I wouldn't want to be around them because I was jealous of what they had going on. Two, I struggled with being by myself. Like, I was just like, I tried to date, and I was just like, it was like God kept slapping me with a sandal. Like, girl, you need to hang out with yourself. Like, I was lonely as shit. You know, I was calling, you know, my friends, like, just super lonely. I was out, I was drinking, I was partying. I mean, times that I would go home and I would look at my Uber, I didn't even realize how I got home. Like, it was just ugly, you know, and to a point where I was like, okay, let's take a step back. Like, what do we need to do here? Like, and just being really honest, like, I showed a lot of my bad days. And after a while, I started trying to show, you know, my good days. But in the beginning, I showed a lot of my bad days, but it's like crying in the car where, okay, I went 5 days without crying. Oh, never mind, I'm back to day one. And that was one of the videos that I made is, you know, during your healing journey, don't be afraid of starting over. You're going to have a whole bunch of day ones. Like, I had probably 10 plus day ones. It's just, give yourself credit that you're going to start back over. So, you know, as I look at my healing journey now, I'm in a much better place. You know, I started traveling by myself and hanging, like literally having so much fun by myself. I was like, do I even want a man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do I really want to date? Do I really want to? Because I was having so much fun with myself. Like, and that's the thing with healing. Like, you're not healing to be with somebody else. Yeah. You're healing to be a better version for yourself. Then that other person should come along. And that's what a lot of these women was getting fucked up at. Yeah. You know, they were like, I need to get better so I can find a good man to find me. No, you need to get better for yourself, and that good man's gonna find you regardless. Yeah. And that's the mindset I just had to have, you know, after a while. So yeah.
We love that. And now you're in this new relationship.
Hey.
I love to see you happy.
Oh, thank you.
Because I literally remember when you posted the first video.
Me too. I look at it now.
Just watching your journey, I'm like, fuck, whoever this guy is, can we just jump him? Because why are you putting her through this? Like, we all feel connected. We literally in your comments like, sis, I'm here with you.
I know, it's crazy. Yes, they're like, can you please call me? I'm like, okay.
I think I reached out to you at one point, and when I sent it, I was like, this girl gonna be like, I'm not calling you for support. But I literally sent you a message, and I was just like, I'm so sorry for you. I've been there. Like, if you need anything.
Yes, I did. I think I responded back to you.
Yeah, and I genuinely meant that. Yeah. But, you know, some people are not really in a place to receive that. So I didn't know how that was gonna be. But fast forward, here you are, girl. But how did you meet your new boyfriend? And what space were you in when that happened?
Oh, I wasn't in the best place, but I wasn't in the worst place. I was like in a medium. I met him on Instagram. It was very like, I was actually, I had just booked myself a 20-day trip to Spain by myself. I met him 2 days before on Instagram. He had just DM'd me. It was a slide, like a slick DM. Like it wasn't nothing heavy, you know. And I kind of like curved him. It was just a regular, you know, regular conversation. And then he kind of kept coming back for conversation. And I was dry at first because I'm like, he lived in Seattle. I was like, not happening. 2, I'm about to go to Spain for 20 days. I was like, and then he looked young, like just to put it out there. I was like, no, it's not happening. So we ended up just having good conversation. He asked me for my number. I kind of dubbed him the first time. And then I had to go to Spain, and we basically stay in communication through WhatsApp. Well, in order for me to WhatsApp you, I had to have your number. So I gave him my number, and we ended up talking the whole time I was in Spain. And I was like, okay, he's cool, he's handsome. Like he was just there for me in the points that I needed. And he wasn't pressuring me into anything. He wasn't expecting anything. It was just really just, you know, conversation. And so fast forward, I got home, and he sent me like flowers to my house and was like, you know, I hope your 20 days you found yourself and everything. I was like, oh, okay, you know. That was cute. But it was funny, and he hears, so he's gonna be probably a little mad when I say this, but it was funny though, because I posted those flowers on Instagram, right? And no lie, I had a few other dudes send flowers after that. And I was like, it's so crazy that and it just made me open my eyes to dating and what I had versus what I knew wasn't out there in the streets. It's like, men only apply pressure when they see competition, but it's like, they will never do that. Yeah. They will never do that if it's just a regular. I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah. When you making it clear, like, oh, I'm yours, they'd be like, girl, I'm gonna sit on you. I'm gonna shelve you.
Right.
But yeah, they are competitive by
crazy
nature.
Dudes that I knew for the longest. I was like, this is some crazy shit. And then fast forward, I ended up having to speak at a conference in San Francisco. And I was like, do you just want to meet me, you know, in San Francisco? Because he lived in Seattle. And then we ended up meeting in person in February. And I was like, okay, he's cute. Yeah, it's cute. And now we together.
So not to compare situations, please don't hate me. But for girls who don't know what that feels like when you finally are in a situation where you feel safe.
Yeah.
What is the difference from what you feel and what you experience now in this relationship versus your last, or versus any relationship prior?
Yeah. So with this situation, it's interesting because first and foremost, I dated him for 6 months before we got in a relationship. I've never in my life dated anybody that long.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
Right. I've never dated anybody that long to get in a relationship, but I was very keen on like, I'm not ready. And I'm really gonna stick to my guns. Like I'm healing, I'm preaching about this shit on TikTok. I'm standing my guns. Like I'm not ready. No, I'm not ready. And 2, it was like it was certain things that I had to see. Like, can I deal with that? Is that okay? Is that something can you do distance? Like this is my first time ever doing a distance relationship. So I guess in comparison to all my other relationships, is like I took the time for myself and I put myself first, and he was okay with that. Most dudes, they would have been like, all right, see you later. You know, like, nah, you too much, or you doing this, or so he respected, my boundary. He never pressured me once about being in a relationship, even when his friends was like, damn, y'all still dating? Y'all not together? Y'all not together? And I used to be like, don't ask me to be your girlfriend, y'all ain't ready. So, no situation is perfect. Everybody has flaws, but with him, I think he just respects me as a person. Like, I'm crazy as fuck. I'm a Leo, I'm outgoing, I'm controlling, I'm aggressive, like I'm the loudest bitch in the room, like I'm that, so to have somebody that's be like, that's just my girl, I'm so cool with that, and he's like that, versus in other situations, he's to be like, your personality is too much, you doing too much, you too loud, you just so extra. He'd be like, I love that shit, versus somebody before, it's like, I don't want that, that's too much, you need to tone that down, and I used to tone that down. Now I don't have to tone that down, I could just be myself. Now every now and then it's like, all right, Jazmin, you need to calm down. But for the most part, he lets me be me. So I would say that's the difference between what I had before and what I had now.
So let's stay in that.
Okay.
What are like 5 things about you that you really, really love about you?
Girl, I love that. 5 things. My personality, I would say, is 1. I've learned how to embrace that over the years, and I've gotten so many, I want to say complaints, but people always have something to say about my personality. Yeah. My dad, my mom, everybody. So I would say my personality, my smile. I feel like I brighten up the room. I have a resting bitch face. So, when I do smile, it's like, okay, bitch, you got, that was nice. Like, okay, you got it in you. 2, I think my willingness to help people, I'm very like, I'll help you out before I help myself. Yeah. I help everybody in my circle. I try to make sure everybody is happy, like no matter the means or what it costs. Like if you want to do something, if you want to be there and you're my close confidant, then all right, like I'm gonna make sure that happens. We on 3?
I don't even.
3? What was that, 3?
We don't know how to count.
3, 4. And I would just say my last one is my drive. You know, I'm very, very ambitious. You know, I've accomplished a lot. I just turned 30. I feel old as shit. But I'm very ambitious, you know, and I've accomplished a lot before the age of 30. And there are a lot of goals that I put into place. And I'm like, okay, this got to happen before 30. And it happened. So I just want to continue to have that drive, you know, moving into the future.
Beautiful.
That was a good question. I like that. Nobody ever asked me that before.
What did your last relationship teach you about yourself?
What my last relationship taught me about myself is to love myself. Like that every single facet of me is amazing. I don't think I ever got to a point in my life where I was like, oh, I love me. Like now I look at me, I'd be like, damn, I love me. I'm the shit. I look good. Like, I don't think I've ever, you know, got to a point. And to really just embrace my flaws. Like, nobody's perfect. I think people think you have to be perfect to be with somebody or to fall in love or to be successful. Like, you don't. Nobody's perfect. I think it's just to embrace your flaws and to bring them to the light. Like, I bring my flaws to the light all the time on TikTok. If it's talking about my 2008 Acura, you know, if it's, you know, yeah, like, I don't care what people have to say because, like, I'm human just like everybody else. Like I can be me and that's okay. And you can find someone that's going to embrace all of those things and love you just as much. Like I'm funny as hell. I'm quirky as hell. Like I do some of the dumbest shit that you would never in your life be like, she is like that? Like she is not like that. No, she is like that. And I have somebody that embraces those things. So I think that's what, you know, my last situation kind of taught me, and hopefully that moves into the future as well. Let me say this. I don't think there's a proper way into healing because I always get those messages from women. Like, how do you start? What does that look like? I don't think there's not a certain way that you start or a certain way that you end with healing. I think in the past, I just never followed through with it. I think I would like, okay, I'm gonna journal for a little bit. I'm gonna go to the gym for a little bit and then it would fall off and then I just end up going to go date somebody else because I was just lonely. I think this time I really followed through with it where it was like, okay, I'm gonna be lonely. And I made them videos where I talk about, y'all, I'm lonely as shit. But it was like I said, like God would slap me in his hand. Like I would go out on dates with dudes and they would stand me up.
What?
They would stand me up. I kid you not. And I was like, this is nothing but God. My homeboy used to say, this is nothing but God telling you don't need to be hanging out with nobody. Like they would stand me up. They wouldn't call me back. They would call me back a month or two later. I'm like, this is God telling me that I need to hang out by myself. And I think in the past, I never followed through with that. Like I said, I would just go date with somebody else. I think this time I had to follow through with like, okay, go out to eat by yourself, go to the movies by yourself, go literally sit in the house in dead silence and hang out with yourself and be comfortable. Now I can do those things and I literally love my space. But before I used to be like, you want to come over? You know, y'all busy? Yeah, you know, can I see you guys? Like I used to always be like that because I just never wanted to be by myself, you know,
and
so.
They was standing you up.
Girl, they was standing me up.
Boys are stupid.
Girl,
like
the story, they used to be like, you somebody died? Oh, okay. We doing that one? Oh, okay. Yes. We doing that one?
That would really hurt my feelings.
It did hurt my feelings.
Very easily.
No, me too. I was just like, I'm about the baddest day come around. You standing me the fuck up?
See, and even for those of us who know, like, I'm pretty, I'm smart, I'm kind, all of that stuff, I get really, really butthurt when Kayla and Milan will tell you just recently, I had somebody slightly break my heart. And I was like, y'all, what is wrong with me? I was really crying for a couple days.
When men do certain shit, it just makes you question, like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
But they always come back around. I always say that. Everything is full circle with men. They always come back around, no matter what. No matter what. So that little heartbreak, it's gonna come back around. You're gonna be like, okay.
That's interesting, though, that you said, like, you feel like there's not really a right or wrong way to approach healing. I think at one point I felt like there was, and maybe I wasn't doing healing the right way. Maybe I thought I was healing. Yeah. But I can recall like maybe 4 or 5 years ago coming out of like a terrible abusive relationship. Like the worst of worst kind of abuse. Like, it went there. Yeah. And I was so depressed after that relationship, even though like I'm finally out of this situation. He's not harassing me or any of that crazy stuff anymore. Yeah. But I was so depressed, like borderline suicidal. Yeah. And it drove me to drink. Yeah. And at the time, I was bartending in nightclubs. So I have access to all of the things.
I've been there. I already know.
That I don't need to have access to. And at that time, my way of healing was get drunk every night, go home around like 6 or 7 when I get off work, sleep till maybe 2 or 3, wake up,
and do
eat
it all
some
over
pizza,
again.
do it all over again.
I've been there. I already know.
I kid you not.
Yeah.
For maybe like 6 or 7 months straight.
Yeah.
That was my life.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of recollection of that time.
Yeah, but so that's the thing. Healing looks different for everybody. That was my healing the first 3 months out of my relationship. I was getting fucked up. I was getting drunk. I was going out. I was going out drinking by myself. And on top of that, I would have my friend, can you come pick me up? I leave my car somewhere in Midtown. I'm like, where's my car at? What do you mean where your car at? We got to go get it. That was me the first 3-4 months until I had literally one night, I was like, I made it home and I woke up and I looked at my Uber. I was at Allure and I didn't remember not one memory of that night. I was like, oh, hold on. I said, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, like this is not okay. And that's when I was like, I need to find something, a different mechanism. So I think it looks different for everybody. You know, some people can heal with other people. Some people can heal with themselves. Like some people need to go out and drink. Some people have those, you know, phases where it's like, okay, I gotta drink. I gotta party. That's their way of healing. I gotta have a hot girl summer. I gotta have somebody fly me out. That's their way of healing. Everybody's healing looks different.
Yeah.
Mine was just, I just tried it a different way because I didn't have those ways before where I'm like, okay, I'm going out of town. I'm about to have me a hot girl summer. Like, it's crazy because that's what us women say at first. It's like, all right, I'm out of a relationship. All right, we in the streets, we outside, and then you at home crying, depressed, sad, like, oh, I'm in the streets. Like, oh, miss the streets. Like, because you know ain't nothing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it looks different for everybody, but it's just understanding like what works best for you. Like for me, therapy didn't work. Therapy worked best for you. But, you know, hanging out with my friends and going solo traveling and cutting off on drinking and really spending time with myself, journaling, reading. I had never read a damn book in my life. I mean, I was like, reading, this is so lame. But I actually started reading and I have like a book that I carry with me that I'm like, every time I get sad or I have a memory, and they're just short little inserts. I'm like, it's from R.H. Sennett. I wish I could think of the name of it. But it's like just little inserts and I read it just to give myself that extra boost to calm down when I, you know, I'm having an anxiety or a panic attack. And I'm like, all right, let me get myself back together and I go on about my day. So it just looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
So throughout my healing girl journey, obviously I was working full time. I was working a lot actually. And it took a mental point to the point I just had to quit. I quit work for like 2 months, literally. And I was like, okay, no income coming in. Like, but it was literally, I couldn't show up for work. Like I would call out of work all the time or I wasn't 100%. I was missing meetings. I was late for meetings. I was missing deadlines. Like I was just like mentally could not function. And at the time, yeah, I was doing TikToks, but I wasn't, you know, monetizing off of them. One, because I never considered myself as an influencer. I was just literally creating content to make me feel better. And so I had to kind of, I don't know, shift that. And so going into now, I am a full-time content creator, which is cool. I own my own social media agency and I just do a lot of freelance work. So I guess to answer your question, it's like, I actually get to monetize off of what I say now. Obviously, my content has shifted. I don't cry, you know, as much or anything anymore. Now it's more around like self-care and self-love. So, you know, I travel a lot. I travel, you know, with my boyfriend and myself. I showcase a lot of like self-care tips. I do a lot of things around Atlanta. So I go to the spa by myself or I go out to eat by myself. Like a lot of my content showcases that. And so I get a chance to kind of work with brands to kind of showcase what that looks like, you know, like, so at Alexa Amazon, for example, we did a campaign where like, what are your healing girl reminders that you have on your Alexa that they read off to you every single day? And I'm like, you know, mine is like, you the baddest bitch, or like, you know, work hard, play hard. Like, you know, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Like those are reminders that I set for myself. And so it's really cool to kind of see like off of all of this, like just something that I do on the day to day, I get to profit and I get to make money off of it, which just shows you the power of social, where it's like, if you're yourself, that's where community comes from. Like you talk about your, you know, I follow your stuff and I got a lot of tips around PR and influencers from you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people look to me and you for those type of advice, and it's authentic because you work in PR. You do this on the day to day. You're not just like somebody that just got on TikTok and talk about, no, like you've worked with clients, you've worked with big name clients, you've been at movie premieres, you're writing press releases, like you're contracting influencers. So people pay you to do that. So it's like, man, let me follow her to get these tips. The same thing for me. It's like, yeah, I work in social, but people come to me for just like, okay, this is her self-care. Like this is what works for her. And they pay us for that type of stuff. So yeah.
I love that God has really made this work in your favor.
Yes.
Because I can't tell you how many times I have dealt with some nonsense. And to this day, I haven't gotten my reparations.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But to see like that really worked out for you, I love that. I hate though, because that's not everybody's story.
Yeah, no.
I hate that men can be selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
And not think like, she's not in a place right now, professionally, emotionally, spiritually, where she can afford this type of heartbreak.
Yeah.
and I don't want to be the one to put that on
Yeah.
her. Let me walk away.
Yeah.
Don't think like that.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
I always have this running joke with my friends where I'm like, men are always going to get up and go to work.
Always.
So like, if you want to have a little
They're
one
never
night
gonna miss out
stand,
on
get
it, yeah.
you some sneaky link time,
Yeah.
whatever. Like if you want to
They're
be
gonna always get their
heartbroken and
money.
stuff, they gonna get up and go to work. So we need to do better with that.
Yeah.
And I always tell myself I need to do
Yeah.
better with protecting me.
Yep.
Because I just throw myself to the fire and think a man
Yeah.
is gonna know how to handle me.
Absolutely
He's gonna
not.
see all this greatness and just get it together. And these men play in my face.
Yeah.
They play. No, they play. Hear me loud and clear. Please, can y'all put the caption at the bottom? Spell it out. They play in my face.
Yeah, they play in everybody's face. Don't get it wrong.
I don't like that.
But men, and this is one thing I talk about on my channel because I always don't like to bash men. I also like tell women, like, as women, we have to take accountability on shit. Men tell you from the motherfucking jump what they want and what they don't want. You just hear what you want to hear. I've done it plenty of times. I hear, we're going to be together. But they're saying, I ain't looking for nothing right now. I'm like, we're going to be together eventually. We're not looking for nothing right now.
Yeah.
He's telling you straight up, you know.
You know the post online where it's like, oh, girls see red flags and it look like Six Flags?
Right.
That's me.
Right. We try to like convert them into green flags. No, baby, it's red.
Yeah.
He don't want to be with you. He don't want to be with you. It's just what it is. But men will give you wifey status and girlfriend. Y'all will meet friends and family and stay at his house and go on vacations and everything. And our mind is like, okay, we're going to be together. We're going to be together. No, he's still on that. I ain't really looking for nothing right. We just chilling. We good. We just chilling right now. Relax. You're doing too much. Just relax. You're doing too much.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So I think sometimes women, we got to take accountability on that type of stuff because in my relationship, even with my ex, like I do give him like 90% of blame, but I do take accountability for 10% where it's like, I have a very controlling personality. I'm a Leo. It's just what it is. Like I like to control everything. I like to make sure shit is in order. Like I need to know what's going on tomorrow. I've always been like that. And for some men, that's like, I'm not dealing with that shit.
I don't know where I can take accountability in my last relationship.
Girl, well, you got to take something. You got to take something.
I think I was too nice and I justified too much.
Yeah.
My most recent ex, oh God, I'm about to tell my tea. Oh, I've been waiting. So, unfortunately, his dad passed maybe like 4 or 5 months into our relationship.
Oh, I'm sorry to.
I have such a soft spot for people, and
Yeah.
the way that I love men is like, I want to be your healing
Yeah.
space. I can fix you.
I'm your Band-Aid.
Come
Yeah.
lay it down here.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that was something that I could not fix.
Yeah.
And so I tried to be like, well, let me introduce him to God and show him the way that like God has worked in my life. I'll pray over him. I'll teach him how to pray.
Yeah.
He wasn't in a space where he was ready to receive that. And I
Yeah.
think I pushed him further away
Yeah.
because I tried to force it on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But I think there were times where, in his own way, he could have communicated it better. But in his own way, he was telling me, I'm not mentally in a space where I can love you. I don't know
Yeah.
who I am anymore. I lost the one man I've known my
Yeah.
whole life. Like,
That's
everything is a shit show.
That's tough.
And I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
And so it just created
We don't do
this
that.
space. Yeah, for him to just make a mess of our relationship. And by the time it blew up,
It was too late.
it blew up.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You and Jazmin. I already know.
What is wrong with us?
You and Jazmin, so I already know. If you're a Jazmin, I already know what comes with that.
But I justified way too much.
Yeah,
so
and we do that.
The first time I picked up on him doing inappropriate things with other women, I stayed.
Oh, me too.
Because he's going through stuff with his dad, like
Yeah.
he's having a low moment. Maybe that's
Yeah.
his outlet.
Yeah.
And then when he started to talk to me crazy and curse me out, I stayed because he's angry.
Yeah.
Grief takes different stages. I can't
Yeah.
leave him right now. And at one point, he would even manipulate me when I would be like, I'm done. You don't deserve me. Fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
out. And then he'd come back and be like, you really gonna leave me knowing I ain't got nobody else? You know my dad just died and here I am.
That's how they be.
Trying to save everybody again. And that's my problem.
Yeah. You never let a man tell you twice that he don't want to be with you.
I hurt your mom.
Bam. I'm going to say it one time. That's it.
Okay, so my last question, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
Through this healing journey, you've met this man. You're so happy. We love that.
Yeah.
What have been, or have there been, any tense spots in your relationship Do you want to come up here? Like, because of your healing journey, has that caused some tense spots in your relationship? Because he kind of came in, you know, on the butt end of it. So I can only imagine how sometimes that aftermath could spill over. What does that look like? And how does it challenge you all to communicate in your relationship?
Yeah, I mean, so one, it's a challenge in itself because we live at a distance. Like he lives in Seattle and I live here. So like we try to see each other once a month. So in general, that's the challenge. I think too, he was also kind of healing too. So I think sometimes there could be issues where, and on both ends, where it's like, I would say insecurities a little bit, where it's like, what you doing? You know, like this is how my mind reads shit sometimes. You're in Seattle, so that means you're 3 hours ahead of me. Meaning when I go to sleep, you got all night to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You could wake up the next morning and I would never know. That's how my mind registers shit.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think trust is just a big factor on both ends. I'm very open, probably way more open than anybody would ever meet. Like I'm very cool with a lot of shit. Yeah. I'm just very much so let me know and don't let me find out shit through a third party. Mm-hmm. I'm very much so one of those people where just tell me straight up. I seen this chick, she attracted, whoop-de-whoop, or just let me know. Yeah. So I think our challenge is more so around that, just trusting one another and knowing like, I got you, you got me, you don't got shit to worry about. Like I'm open as fuck. So if there's anything you need to know, just let me know. But I mean, outside of that, we've been pretty good. Like he handles my personality very well. Mm. I think he's still getting to learn my quirks a little bit and, you know, my controllingness a little bit. And that's because I'm used to being head bitch in charge, independent. I don't need a man. I'm running the show. It's my, you know, I'm used to being like that. So I think sometimes a challenge for me, it's like letting a man be a man because I've always been the man. Mm. I've always been the man in a relationship. So letting a man literally be a man and let me be a little bit more on the softer side. Yeah. So I think those are some of the challenges that I've had to deal with that I'm sure it gets easier over time, but yeah.
You just brought up a good point. So I'm gonna ask one last question. Okay, that's fine. I promise. You mentioned you've always had to be the man in your relationships, and I agree.
Yeah. You're Jazmin. I'm sure you've had to deal with that too.
Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. I don't like that for me. But how is that a challenge for you, or what does it look like now having to come out of survival mode? Yeah. Because I've spent all of my relationships since I was 13 years old being in survival mode, having to look over my shoulder because I don't trust you 110% to look over my shoulder for me. Yeah. So how has that challenged you to kind of soften up, or what has he done to make you feel like it's safe to soften up?
It's definitely a challenge, 100%. I don't really embrace my soft side. Like, you know, he tells me that. He's like, Jazz, I wish you just be a little bit more passionate. Just be a little affectionate sometimes. I'm like, okay, I just have to learn how to be like that. So he's very cuddly to me. You know, he's very passionate. He's the very complete opposite of me. So I think that's a good balance. And it's the balance that I need versus I used to date guys that were the same exact as me. So it would never work, and it doesn't make me embrace my softness anymore. He's way more softer than I am, very chill. So it allows me to be, you know, to come out my shell like a little snail, you know, a little bit. I still pop in, but when I pop out, I pop out. So I think him just, you know, being a lot softer with me and just being understanding and communicating with me like, you know, you're not doing this. I ask him that. I'm like, am I doing something that you don't like? Are you pleased right here? Am I making you happy right here? Is there something I need to work on? Like, it sounds annoying, but I have to ask those questions because if I don't ask, I don't know. Yeah. So just making sure to have that dialogue.
Well, I love that.
Thank you.
I love that you're happy. This part of you, I love that. Because seeing some of the videos that you've posted,
I know,
I'm so happy. Yeah. We don't like that.
Ew, no.
But you have just grown. You've healed in such a pleasant way. And I feel like that's such a help to me and so many other people who follow you. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. This was fun.